hall already. So the further we progress through the game, the more difficult gameplay is going to get. The more monsters you're going to encounter, the more the game will try to scare you. You'll have to run from monsters. You will encounter movie scenes such as this one.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Right, that happens sometimes, and the silly thing about that is that when it's dark and that happens, you can barely see anything because it gets even darker. Now this is kind of like some tissue that's blocking the path to the door. There's the door, and that's where we need to go. So we need to explore this area in order to create a chemical acid that will destroy the tissue and allow us to kind of go through to that door. When you click that, just look away really quickly. But there's this stuff that's gonna appear on the door, so you don't have the option to go outside. But that was kind of pretty obvious. So this is where we need to go in the end. That means we need to check the other things before that. Now at first we make our way to the laboratory, or the laboratory, however you say that, to see what we need to complete. It doesn't really make sense to go here, but it's better to get the mementos and actually have an idea about what happens. So we're just gonna quickly run down here. It actually turns your view to the oil that's laying on the ground here. Another bit of oil is up here on the shelf. You can then make your way further down here where you can see the water monster for the first time. Down there. That's the water monster. We're gonna have the pleasure of meeting that one later on. So it tells you the chemical relocation, that it's been moved to the wine cellar. There's some more oil here. Just check all the shelves for tinder boxes and stuff. There's some tinder box.
There should be more cuprites. Let me see. And one part aquafortis.
Yeah, aquafortis and cuprite being some of the chemicals that we need to find. Then there's one of those things that just give you some kind of strange story. I'm not sure what they actually are for. If they're like some parts of the soul of Alexander or something, I could imagine that, but I really just don't know. Okay, there's this little area here where you can find some more tinder boxes here and there. I don't think there's anything behind here. So you can just quickly run back out of the laboratory, because what you needed were those mementos, that there's 4 chemicals, that it's been moved to the wine cellar, and that you need to get some sort of acid to remove the organic tissue in front of the refinery. So just move back out to the entrance hall and ignore the text during the loading screen, and then we can start to get the wine cellar key, because when you try to move down here, oops, that scared me a little bit, gets me every time, you can see it's locked, so we need to get the key first. And obviously we need to go to the wine cellar to collect the chemicals. There's a tinderbox behind here. Grab that. And then we can go to the archives, where we need to find, well, the key for the wine cellar. People always say that there's monsters in the archives because of the sounds and stuff, but there's not. There is nothing in the archives, really. It's just darkness and sounds and music and the imagination. Yeah, like that, for example. Players take that
16th of May?
as a monster, but it's really not. So it makes sense to look into these things, but in that one there is kind of never really anything. So you can close the door to see where you've been. You could hide behind there. There's a note in here from Wilhelm. It's some kind of servant type of thing. Just look in here. There's some tinder boxes there. Those things, I forgot what they're called, but they just always kind of have something inside of them, like a tinder box. Yeah, there's not a monster, so don't even worry.
7th?
There's some more notes here, and some more of those things that I don't remember the name of, but there's always something in there. Come on, open. Thank you. Okay, and partially open doors are usually a bad sign in the game, but like I said before, there is nothing bad. Was I in here before? Nope. This is the evil piano room. People get freaked out in here because the piano starts playing. But yeah, not sure what's so scary about a piano. This one is locked, I think. Yeah, you can check that out if you want to, but you don't have to. Now we have the freaky piano here. It's closing when you move towards it. But yeah. You move here, and this will collapse later on so that we can't go back here. Probably gonna collapse quite soon, actually. So you can go in here, grab a tinderbox from here, and there is some more stuff in here. And we've already got 9 fuels of oil, and we have the piano again. Another movie scene.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Yeah, so this is what I meant with you can barely see anything when there are the movie scenes. Like right now it looks pretty decent, but otherwise it doesn't. So now this will collapse and disallow us to go back this way. So we need to go in here. We're gonna have another breakdown when we get the note.
May 1839.
Can't skip that, sadly.
After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
So we touched
I
that.
reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
Yeah, so I need to be right back for one moment because there's someone at the door.